I need to understand there is a but to every love story.
That the bots exist. We're not hiding the bots. We're not hiding behind one finger. We say it, we acknowledge it, but it should not be a problem.
You choose to love your spouse not because they deserve it, but because you decided.
We know certain things, but after marriage, those things become the bots. But they were there all along.
Stay tuned for our feature presentation.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I'm with you.
I know you're trying. You've been a wonderful husband. But there is nothing I ever think of that you're not doing. You are doing so well. But this your 2 minute issue is not helping. I thought you ṣúkẹ́ṣúkẹ́ wà ti dálẹ̀. Ó rí bákan náà. Ṣé o lè rí nǹkan ṣe sí ni? Mi wà satisfied, eh?
What else do you think I can do?
I don't know if there is need for you to see a doctor or something. Or I don't know.
Oh, Jefferson. Hospital one umbrella. Who do I see? Just imagine if I was hospital. Why can you complain me? Can you complain me?
How are they mad dákẹ́ báyìí now?
And then who do I talk to?
Ṣé ìjà wọn kò ṣe sí?
You know I love you. I love you. I love you with
too.
everything in me.
I love you too.
We love each other. That is enough.
Oh, this is also very important. You can't be doing 2 minutes and my satisfaction too is also very important. John now. Balance it. Owó náà rí pé ó máa ń yá ni.
Oh God. We love each other. But it's not enough.
Hello everyone, you're welcome to today's session of Naked and Not Ashamed. We are so privileged and so glad to be able to bring you these episodes and these seasons week in, week out. And we are so happy that it's been such a blessing to your homes. I want to say something specifically today, and that is that we do personalized counseling.
And if you want to reach us, you want to make comments, or you even want to ask us to talk about specific areas, you can always reach us on all the informations on our social media platform and even phone numbers for WhatsApp. So we can hear from you and be able to address particular issues that relate to you as an individual. And then we also have something that I need to mention to you, that when we're speaking like this for these sessions, we speak generally. That's how we endeavor to make sure we balance things out. So when we talk in this direction this week, the next week we'll talk in a different direction. But there are several scenarios and situations that require a personal sit down, whereby we have to look at particular situations, be able to get information on that situation from both spouses so that we can be able to help you particularly, specifically. So for those sessions, we also do personalized counseling sessions, and all the information will be scrolling on the screen so that you can take advantage of them. Today's session is one I've taught several times in marriage seminars and conferences, workshops, and marriage schools. And it's a simple topic of we love each other, but In fact, I feel like that but should be in capital B-U-T. We love each other, but I need to understand there is a but to every love story. There is a but to every marriage relationship. You find people that are in love, there will be a but. But those that succeed in their love stories are those that refuse to acknowledge the buts. They consider them, but refuse to acknowledge the buts. And what I say when I say they consider them is they don't ignore them. They don't pretend like the buts do not exist. You know, Jesus said, if you shall say to this mountain, be thou removed and be thou cast into the sea, you shall have whatever you say. Understand, it was talking about a specific mountain. He did not disregard or ignore the mountain. The mountains do exist. The buts in marriage are surely there. They do exist. And I want you to understand that we as human beings, every single one of us has our but.
Well, we love each other, but this, but that. What we're talking about today is the fact that the bots exist. We're not hiding the bots. We're not hiding behind one finger. We see it. We acknowledge it, but it should not be a problem. So how do we handle the bots? What are the things that we need to do in order for the bots not to be a major problem? You see, when it comes to love stories, even in all these fairy tales and all that, they're bots. Everyone has a bot. And one thing you should know is that your bot might just differ from another person's bot, but we all have bots. Everybody has certain things that you're not so 100% happy, comfortable, enthusiastic about, but it exists. But there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, it's a compromise. That bot is actually a compromise, and that's why we're here today.
You have to compromise on the bot.
Yeah.
There are several bots to loving one the other. But I will have you know that the bots are excuses, not reasons. What do I mean? An excuse is not a reason.
Yeah.
An excuse is something you tell yourself to sleep well at night so that you don't feel guilty. Or so at least you will tell yourself, oh, we have not done bad today. That is an excuse. It's not a reason. One of the most profound scriptures for me in the Bible, it says that a lazy man says he cannot go to work, that there's a lion in the street. Notice the Bible says a lazy man, not a madman. So his problem and his weakness is laziness, not insanity. He will be insane if he says there's a lion in the street and there is none. It really means that there indeed is a lion. Yeah. That's why the Bible calls him a lazy man, because it's only lazy men that do not go to work when even there are lions in the streets. Let me tell you this, anything that you find an excuse not to do, you never wanted to do it.
In the first place.
If you really want to do something, you'll find nothing ever stops or hinders you from getting it done. That's why I say it's an excuse, not a reason.
True.
So the bots that exist in our marriage are not a reason for us not to live happily married lives. They're excuses. They're not reasons.
Yeah.
Because if we choose to love one the other, those things are not the issue.
Exactly.
One of the most profound principles of marriage is that we choose to love one the other.
Yeah.
You choose to love your spouse not because they deserve it, but because you decide it. So love is a decision. That is why love is a game. In fact, don't let me call it a game. Let me call it a sport for the matured. Yet children think it is a game. Love is not a game. It's a sport. It's only for those who are matured that understand the stakes are this high.
Yeah.
Because when you love a person, you just decide and you choose, I'm going to love you. I'm going to love you. That's where it begins from. And in actual fact, in all the dating seasons, in all the times when we're, courting or dating or befriending one the other, all those bots are always there. They're always there. But we chose not to see them. Hello. We chose not to see them. Meaning that the bots are not an issue until we begin to look at them. You know, when marriage gets to a situation whereby it becomes chaotic, or if it feels like, you know, it has dwindled or come down so low on passion and on emotions, on romance and on love, even on sex, you will discover that what has taken place is that the bots have been magnified. In fact, the bots have been magnified so much that the people behind the bots have been demonized. Because when you magnify a bot to the extent, that person's weakness begins to look like their wickedness. You understand? The person has a weakness. But when you look at it and you look at it and you pay attention and you focus on it, that weakness begins to come out to you as a wickedness. So instead of saying that this person has a weakness, you say that this person is a wicked person. You know? And once you feel a person is wicked, you feel like, you know, they have it in for you. Then you will do whatever you needed to do to protect yourself. And that's when marriage becomes chaotic and people begin to hurt one the other. Spouses begin to do each other intentionally because they feel like their weaknesses are actually wickednesses against each other.
Please stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break.
Find favor with God and men. See, because the principles of God will bring profitability into your life.
You're welcome to Vantage Church, a Colosseum with a clear-cut mandate to keep the saints with faith relevant for today's living. Our mission, to raise a body of believers who are led by the Spirit and aren't bound to any religious notions, is our passion. We're committed to an out-of-the-box Christianity and empowerment to a life of impact and relevance. We invite you to join any of our services, our worship services on Sunday by 10 a.m. At Providence Court beside Coca-Cola, Mokola, Ibadan.
We proclaim to you the good news today.
You're welcome back to today's episode on Naked and Not Ashamed. You know, one of the things that we come to realize is the fact that these bots were there before you married the person, before you married her, before you got married to him. The bots were always there. But you know, because you overlooked it, it looked as if it was not an issue. Those things were there. Maybe now they're more amplified. Maybe, you know, like we jokingly say that marriage will put recommended glasses on you. You know, when you're in love, everything is just, you're flying, you're mesmerized, you ignore certain things. But after marriage, those things become the bots. But they were there all along. You ignored them. So what we're saying is, in marriage, if you had been able to ignore them back then, I think now you should also take your eyes off. Walk around it. The ones that you feel you could address or work on together, do it. But there's some that you can't do anything about. If you ignored it back then, ignore it now.
Yeah.
If you didn't, it wasn't an issue to you back then, it shouldn't be an issue now. Because you see, like he said, it gets to a point in marriage that you get tired. You know, marriage begins to dwindle, the love begins to fade away. Now it's divided between the children and the spouse, between the work and the spouse, between the family and the spouse. So that's the openings, what's that word? When you say that there are vacuums, yes. So there are vacuums that have been created.
That's right.
Because a third party is involved. Those vacuums, because there are vacuums, now the bots begin to get pronounced. The bots are more prominent. The bots are more elaborate. Then suddenly it's got I don't like it when you do this. You used to do this. You're always doing this. Yes, he has always done it. It wasn't an issue before. Why is it an issue now? The way you have looked away and you didn't mind, you better start looking away.
Wow. If you're single and you're yet to get married, face the bots. That person you're eyeing, face the bots. But if you're already married, ignore the bots. Bots are meant to be faced before marriage, ignored after marriage. Sadly, we do the reverse.
Yeah.
We ignore them before marriage and face them after marriage. So when people are in love, they disregard everything. Even the ones that are obvious, people will point it out to them. This person has this. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
it's not a problem.
No, they are just perfect for me. Is the way I like them. And then after marriage, we now want to face them. That is the wrong place. You see, because everybody you marry will have at least one but. In fact, having bots only confirm our suspicion that your spouse is human after all.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about the bots, understand what we're simply saying is that your spouse will have what they call in Yoruba one shubon,
One cross.
one cross that you will carry in that relationship, at least one. So you see scenarios whereby somebody will say, "Oh, my spouse is so clean, is so neat and not romantic." People that are very clean, very neat, and very organized can be so organized they have no time.
They organize their love.
Everything is organized. Love is programmed. They set calendar dates for the date to be romantic. You understand what I'm saying? They don't do anything spontaneous. You want to do something spontaneous, you have already affected the calendar. They'll say, no. I didn't plan for today. Today is Tuesday.
I like the date.
Today is Tuesday. Let us do romance on Friday. It's Friday that I've organized for it.
Kiss
You
on
understand?
Mondays.
You understand? People that can only kiss until after that brush until they only kiss after they brush their teeth. You understand what I'm saying? Let's move on. Let's move on. I mean, so you will start certain things go together. Whereas you see another person, he's very loving and very carefree, but you now say he's also very careless.
Yeah.
Have you discovered certain personalities have a tendency of going along well together?
Yeah.
So I remember a particular scenario that I read in a book as a young man. This man that had a radio commentary, a radio station where couples, he addresses marriage issues, and people call in or write letters, to talk about their situations, and then he relates to them. So this particular week, he said that one man wrote a letter, and the man said, "Look, my wife is dirty, she's untidy, she's rude, she doesn't know how to cook. The only thing she's good in is that she's good in bed." And then the next week, another person now wrote a letter and said, "In respect to that person's letter that you read last week, my wife is neat, my wife is orderly, my wife is clean, my wife is organized. She's a great cook. The only but is that she's not good in bed. Can you tell the man of the previous week, can we exchange wives?" So you see that it is indeed true that one man's food is another man's poison and vice versa.
Please stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break. We'd like to intimate you with our online platform where we have an amazing list of events to bless you every week. You can join us for prophetic prayers every Monday to Wednesday by 6 a.m. where we connect to God's blessings. Every Tuesday is our special couples session by 7 p.m. where we talk about every area of marriage, relationship, finances, and children. On Wednesday, we have our midweek Bible study by 7 p.m. to help us grasp the deeper understanding of the things of God. You can join any of these awesome live sessions at Yinka Adeleke on Facebook and Instagram. Simply search yinka.adeleke on Facebook, Yinka_Adeleke on Instagram. You can also search for Yinka Adeleke on YouTube for amazing and insightful messages covering every subject. You can also enjoy reruns of all our Naked and Not Ashamed sessions on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube every Friday by 8 p.m. You'll surely be blessed. You're welcome back to today's episode on Naked and Not Ashamed.
So, when you look, have you ever looked across the wall or looked across the fence? You know what they say about grass on the other side? It's always greener.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked across the wall or looked across the fence and you begin to envy somebody else's spouse?
Yes.
And they say, Shebi Yonu. Shebi Yonu. I mean, this person person too is married. I mean, and you begin to consider, Stephen, look at this guy. He's this, is that, is that. Or look at this lady. She's that, she's this. Have you considered that they also have their butts?
Yeah.
They have their butts that their spouses are living with.
Exactly.
In fact, if you see spouses that are living well with each other, it simply means, not that they don't have butts, it simply means they have disregarded their butts. They have refused to make the butts priority. Like I said, previous weeks ago, I think like 2 weeks ago, that roses have thorns. Thorns don't have roses.
Yeah.
They have considered that, look, this is a rose. And when you're calling a rose, when you say a plant is a rose, you notice that they don't even talk about the thorns. It's factored in, at the same time it's disregarded. So they will say it's a rose, and you will offer a person, and the person will not complain about the thorns. In fact, the best people do in flower shops is that they cut those. They just cut. Yes, so it's not tricky. Before you can present it to a person as a gift. So what are we simply saying? Everybody has a bot.
Yeah.
Get with it. Just instead of trying to fight it or fight that person, accept it.
I'm moving.
You see, if you don't, let me tell you what happens. You begin to demonize that person. So you look at this person and say, this person is not a responsible husband. This lady, she's a careless mother. And what you're just looking at is that person's one bad attribute, and you are allowing that to paint your mind about every other aspect of their life.
True.
It's one thing or two, maybe at times 4, maybe even 5, that they're not doing right. But I want to ask you, is there any single thing that your spouse is doing right or doing well? It's really funny when human beings will demonize each other. Have you discovered that the last president is always better than the next one? Have you discovered that a president is disdained until after they go, and then another person comes and says, this person that is even better than you? I discovered that as a young man. I discovered the house helps were always, the past one was always better than the next one.
Until you lose them, and then
when the next person now comes, you now use that person as reference point. When so and so, before she went, we didn't solve this issue. Sir, what you're simply missing is the fact that everybody has something. And if you keep looking at it, you not only will make them feel bad, you will never get the best from them.
Exactly.
Because eventually they start to see themselves in that light. Your spouse is good. They just have weaknesses.
Yeah.
Get with the program.
Your spouse is good. They just have weaknesses. Get along with the person. Your spouse has butts. That person you're looking at also has butts. But guess what? They hide their own butts. They only show you the best part of them. They hide it in their house. So hide your own too. Don't go around saying you wish you were like this. I wish you were like that. They also have their butts, but they don't show it to you. So also put your own behind your curtain and just get along with it.
You know what is funny about office romance? It's not real. It doesn't get home.
Yeah.
Because you guys always see yourself in the office. And you feel like she's perfect. Perfect. Because you don't stay together. Listen, everybody is perfect outside.
Yeah.
Our imperfections show up at home, and they are meant to. That's one of the things of what our session, that's the title, Naked and Not Ashamed. So we should be naked. That means that when you're naked, there are certain things to be ashamed of or to make you feel shame. But we're meant to be naked and not ashamed. And that only happens when we can be vulnerable and accept one the other. It's really sad and ironic when spouses cannot really open up and tell their partner exactly what they like.
Yeah.
Because they feel like that would make them unacceptable. Or when a partner cannot really be themselves with their spouse, when they cannot bear themselves. How lovely would it be if spouses can get home and somebody can I saw a person today and I was attracted to them. If you have those discussions, you never would have spouses falling.
Yeah.
You never would have issues falling. If you can bear everything and say, how lovely will it be? When you tell your spouse that, we're drawing away from each other and the way we're going, this marriage will not last. You know, at times, if handled properly, this discussion can help to strengthen the marriage when you look at each other and you can face the fact. Not that you start threatening the person with the divorce, but you can face the fact that, look, if we continue down this line, it's only a matter of fact. We will break up. Let me tell you, people that divorce are not bad people.
Yeah.
People that have broken marriages are not broken. They are not bad people. They're just people that did not accept and admit that, look, if we keep watering these devil's beans, it will grow and it will make this house inhabitable for us. So if you can face the facts, you discover that person you feel that is bad, the person that you're eyeing, that you want to marry, or the person that you want to marry after them, sir, might be worse.
Yeah.
You know, Jesus met a woman by the well, that Samaritan woman. And Jesus said to her, rightly so, you have 5 husbands, and the 6th one you are with is not your own husband. The woman had married 5 times, and the 6th person, she didn't even marry him. They're just cohabiting or coexisting, just living together. Maybe she started feeling like marriage is what is jinxing it. Now, once you put a ring on it, it becomes a curse, So she didn't marry the next person. But she didn't realize something. Listen, anyone that has married more than 3-4 times, they are the problem. Marriages, at times, people marry and they just have to leave that person and go and remarry. I understand. But I'm telling you, if you have it's happened 3 or 4 times, listen, you are the problem. Have you discovered that if a person is mad, they think every other person is mad? They think that walking on the road where the cars are passing is right. They feel like you that are bringing the cars on the road, you are wrong. That's why anytime you start to see the world in your own thinking, in your own mindset, you have begun to tend towards insanity. I don't mean to be rude, but just factual. You have to be able to consider things and be able to give other people a chance of consideration.
We would love your comments to come in. We would love to hear your feedbacks. And we also love to hear your questions so we can know exactly what areas to address. So until next week, be naked and not ashamed.